Okay, so here's the thing we're not considering.
Okay.
We're always like, Selena can't be the best assassin. What if all the other assassins legitimately suck?
Yeah. All right, we're on to chapter 11.
Oh, wait, I gotta close the door.
She didn't close the door.
And I will
Absolutely, anyone could walk in on this conversation with Archer.
Chapter 11. His training with the assassins must have paid off, because Archer was across the carriage and brandishing a hidden dagger between them before she could blink. Please, he breathed, his chest rising and falling in uneven patterns. Wait, hold on. Who has the dagger? Archer has the dagger, okay. Please, Lena. She opened her mouth, ready to explain everything. I like that he's panicking a little bit. Like, it definitely seems like he's panicking. I love a man who panics. But he was gasping down breaths, his eyes wide. I can pay you. A small...
I'm in debt up to my eyeballs because that's stinking inflation.
What's a little more debt? A small, wretched part of her was fairly smug. A small, wretched part of her was fairly smug at the sight of him cowering. Cowering with a knife between you, okay. Wait, hold on. Oh, I thought he was, like, right up next to her brandishing a dagger, but he's on the other side of the
carriage. Which is weird. Your dagger is close range, dude.
Yeah, it seems like he should get... Well, also, if he, like, jumps on her to brandish the dagger, that will put him in range.
That's true, if she has a dagger. Hopefully, he's seen that skirt. He doesn't think she got a sword under there.
Yeah, but she has a dagger.
Yeah, but that's also close range.
Well,
They're stuck in a carriage, though.
I guess he'd rather be far away from her, even if he can't do any damage to her, if he can keep her away from him.
Yeah.
But she held up her hands, showing him she was unarmed, M-dash, at least as far as he could see. The king thinks you're some part of a rebel movement that's interrupting his agenda. His agenda.
His agender? His agenda?
Man, the revolutionary is disrupting his agenda. A harsh, balked laugh, M-dash, so raw that none of the smooth, lovely man was even recognizable in the sound. I'm not part of any movement. Ward,
that's sad.
Damn me, I might be a whore, but I'm not a traitor. No!
I'm okay with him, being loyal to the king, but she's got to work to get him to switch sides if that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't want him to just, switch. He's got to be like, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I am a
law-abiding, tax-paying citizen.
Yeah. He's got a madam and everything. He's illegal.
I'm illegal. You know what? Not opposed if she actually has to put in work to convince him to switch or whatever. But it would have been nice, alas.
Yeah, it would have been. It's
but also,
a different Archer.
He could be lying.
He could be. He's panicking, but he had those improv classes.
What's the other Archer?
Oh, a different Archer who would have been the one who... This is a different Archer than the one who would have, been
I thought you meant a different character.
No.
From something else called Archer.
No, just that would have been a different Archer.
I might be a whore, but I'm not a traitor. She kept her hands where he could see them and opened her mouth to tell him to shut up, sit down, and listen. But he went on.
That would calm him down. Shut up, sit down, and listen.
I'm gonna kill you 3 ways flat. I don't know anything about a movement like that, M-dash. I haven't even heard of anyone who dare try to get in the way of the king. But, M-dash, ellipses, his panting evened out. Boy, shut up. If you spare me, I can feed you information about a group that I know is starting to gather power.
I literally know nothing. But...
Man, maybe it's a good thing he wasn't part of a rebellion, because he would have spilled the beans quick.
Someone had to say, got a knife, and he'd be like,
They meet in the sewers. What? The king is targeting the wrong people? I don't know, he said quickly.
I don't know. I know nothing.
But this group, ... This one he'd probably want to know more about.
No, apparently targeting the right people. Archer's just a bit of an idiot.
It seems like they recently learned that the king might be planning some new horror for us all, and they want to try to stop him.
Dang, I don't think he's going to be super loyal to the king. Let me let the cat out.
Man, Archer, I was loving Archer so much in the last chapter. Beth was really doing a good job of vocalizing him. But now maybe it's because I'm reading him and not Beth, but we'll see how Archer goes. Why must it be that every time there's a character I think I'll like, something happens and I'm like, oh no, the character, please. So we'll see what happens with Archer. Maybe we'll get lucky and like him.
We'll see.
Oh, at least I will get lucky.
I'm not totally opposed to how he is right now, so.
Yeah. And again, it might just because I'm reading him instead of like listening to you.
Thanks.
If she were a nice, decent person, she'd tell him to take the time to calm himself, to right his mind. But she wasn't a nice, decent person. And his panic was giving his tongue free rein, so she let him go on. I've only heard my clients whispering about it every now and then, but there's a group that's formed right here.
So this is literally exactly what the king said.
What? Well, no, this is literally what he said above
He's
the
repeating
page.
himself. He's
Now,
panicking.
I'll let it slide because he's panicking,
But still, it's not
Maas
great
loves
writing.
to repeat herself all the time.
Careful opening that book. It's a library book.
Formed right here in Rifthold, and they want to put Aelin Galathinius back on Tellison's throne.
Back.
Yeah. How does he know about that?
It seems like he knows a lot.
He's been going to the meetings. He's just...
It seems like, in fact, the king was right.
King? Her heart stopped beating. Heart attack. The rest of this book is acknowledgments, actually.
Oh.
Aelin Galathinus. Aelin Galathinus, the lost heir of Terrasen.
Galathymus.
Aelin Galathymus is dead, she breathed. Archer shook his head. They don't think so. They said she's alive, and that she's...
Oh,
Aelin! Oh, I think...
she's a she.
I think our cousin told me about Aelin a little bit when she was telling me about this book.
Oh. For a moment, I was really baffled as why you said your cousin, and I was like, which one? Which one?
There's only one cousin it could be.
I definitely thought it was different cousins. My first thought was not the cousin who it is.
Oh,
anyways.
well. They don't think so. They say she's alive and that she's raising an army against the king. She's looking She's looking to reestablish her court, to find what's left of King Orlon's inner circle. She just stared at him, willing her fingers to unclench, willing the air into her lungs. If it were true... No, it wasn't true. If these people actually claimed to have met the heir of the throne, then she had to be an impostor. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do. Among Us. Ejected. Aelin was not the... It was a mere coincidence that Nehemia had mentioned Terrason's... Was it a mere coincidence that Nehemia had mentioned Terrason's court that morning? That Terrason was the one force capable of standing against the king, if it could only get on its feet again, with or without its true heir? But Nehemia had sworn to never lie to her. False lie. If she'd known anything, she would have said it.
Actually, swearing she'd never lie was not the first lie.
Selena closed her eyes, though she was aware of Archer's every movement. In the darkness, she pulled herself together, shoved down the desperate, foolish hope until nothing but the ageless fear blanketed it again. She opened her eyes. Archer was gaping at her, his face white as death.
What have I said?
Damn, should not have said that. Archer should not have said that. I have no intention of killing you, Archer, she said. He sagged against the grip, releasing his grip on the dagger.
Oh, he's relieved. He's an idiot. He's gonna get yelled at later.
I'm going to give you a choice. You can fake your death right now and flee the city before dawn, or I can give you until the end of the month. Or I can give you until the end of the month, M-. 4 weeks. 4 weeks to discreetly get your affairs in order.
It's not 4 weeks. It's been at least 3 days since she was given this command.
She's stupid. I assume you have money tied up in Rifthold, but the time comes at a cost. I'll keep you alive only if you give me information about whatever this Terracin rebel movement is, M-.
I need him just to leave.
And whatever you know about the king's plans.
He needs to run away to Meh.
Meh. At the end of the month, you will fake your death, and you will leave this city. Go somewhere far away, and never use the name Archer Finn again.
How about Finnegan?
Never use the name Archer Finnegan. He stared carefully, warily at her. I'll need the rest of the month to untangle my money.
Dang it!
This is why you have to have an emergency fund. Just saying.
Oh, I'm screwed.
He loosed a breath, then rubbed his face with his hands. After a long moment, he said, perhaps this is a blessing in disguise. You know, silver linings, I appreciate it from a man.
Linings.
I'll get to be free of Clarisse.
Clarice, maybe?
The woman, I
was saying the E at the end, because it's fun.
Yeah, Clarisse. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Clarice, but I'm going to say Clarisse.
That's right. Remember, this ain't our world. I can pronounce the names however I want.
I'll get to be free of Clarisse the rest of and start my life anew somewhere else. Though he gave her a wobbly smile, his eyes were still haunted. Why did the king even suspect me? She hated herself for feeling such pity for him.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. He just handed me a piece of paper with your name on it and said you were some part of movement to upset his plans, M-. Whatever those may be. Archer snorted. I only wish I could be that sort of man.
He's a coward. Love it.
Love it. I love a little coward. What can I say? She studied him. The strong jaw, the broad frame, all suggested strength. But what she'd seen just now...
He's Glorfindel.
M-, that was not strength.
Yes!
Kaol had known right away what sort of man Archer was.
Oh, I don't like that, actually. Kaol's jealous.
Had seen the illusion of strength, M-, and she hadn't.
No, Kaol's actually just a jealous, pathetic child.
Shame heated her cheeks, but she made herself speak again.
They were literally just bonding, and she had, like, a great opinion of him and about, their shared servitude, and now she's like, he's a coward.
God forbid not every man is so strong and wants to fight and be a part of a rebellion. God forbid a man be like, oh my goodness, don't kill me,
Oh my goodness, don't kill me. Here's what I know, please. Spare my life. You look so irritated. I am.
You truly think you can uncover information about this, M-? About this, M-, this movement from Terracin?
No, I think you think I can, and that alone will give me a month.
He's like, I only need 2 weeks to get...
I only need 2 weeks.
I need a week to get out of here. Man,
I need him to disappear when she's not ready yet. I really would like that. I'm not going to say it's happening because literally nothing we've asked for has happened. But
it would be nice. It would
be great if like a week goes by and he's just gone.
Yeah, that would be really great. Even though the ale had to be an impostor, the movement itself was worth looking into. Elena had said to look for clues. She might find some here. Archer nodded. There's a ball tomorrow night at a client's house. I've heard him and his friends murmuring.
Wait, him? Yeah. He's got a male client?
He says him!
We were wrong!
Place it here. I've heard him and his friends murmuring about the movement. If I sneak you into the party, it might give you a chance to look around his office. Maybe you'll even find real traitors at the party, not just suspects.
Not just suspects like me.
Please don't kill. I really wish that he would just be gone in a week. And not say, give her his last report, not say anything, fake his death, and get out of there. Get out of Dodge, Archer, please.
I mean, I would very much like him to stay a character.
Yeah. But if he's going to be, I don't know. If he's going to leave at the end of the month or he's going to leave in a week and just kind of sneak out on Selena, that might be worth it for me.
Yeah, it'd be great.
But we would like him to stay because this is the only
He's the best character other than Roland.
And Roland has an advantage because he wears nothing but a dagger, and I respect the gumption.
Yeah. Respect. If he's not part of the rebellion, I'm going to be really disappointed. In Maas, not in him.
And some ideas, let's see, you might even find a traitor. You might even, not just suspects. And some ideas of what the king might be up to. Oh, this information could be very useful. Send along the details to the castle tomorrow morning. Care of Lillian Goldania. Goldania, she told him. But if this party turns out to be a load of nonsense, I'll reconsider my offer. Don't make me look the fool, Archer. It's a ball tomorrow? Man, he doesn't have time to get out of Dodge by tomorrow.
He really doesn't. Better hope this pans out.
You're Auburn's protege, he says quietly, opening the carriage door and keeping his distance best he could while he exited.
Love that for him.
I wouldn't dare. Good, she said. And Archer. He paused, a hand on the carriage door. She leaned forwards. Okay, I do kind of like this. What can I say? She leaned forward, letting a bit of the wicked darkness shine through her eyes. If I find out that you aren't being discreet, if you draw too much attention to yourself or attempt to flee, I will end you. Is that clear? How is she gonna know? If he doesn't... He gave her a low bow. I am your eternal servant, my lady. And then he gave her a smile that made her wonder whether she'd regret her decision to let him live. Leaning back into the carriage bench, she thumped on the ceiling. The driver headed to the castle.
Wasn't this Archer's driver?
I guess they'll drop her off and then come back, maybe?
They should have dropped her off in the beginning.
Oh, yeah, well... Oh, no, because he totally offered her to come in with him.
Oh, right.
Though she was exhausted, she had one last thing to do before bed. Section break. I really hated this part of KR in the corner of the page. With being like, KR had seen straight through his...
Yeah.
KR, she's so ashamed that she didn't see it. Can't you respect his game and be like, hey, game respects games. You're a good actor.
Yeah. Games respect games. Games respect games.
Section break. She knocked once, then opened the door to Kael's room just right enough to peel in.
He saw him on the bed with another woman.
Hey, yo! He was standing frozen before the fireplace,
Half naked.
as if he'd been in the middle of pacing. I thought you'd be asleep, she said, slipping inside. It's past 12. He folded his arms across his chest, his captain's uniform rumpled and unbuttoned at the collar. Then why bother stopping by? I thought you weren't coming home tonight anyway.
We had a fight.
Well, I threatened...
I threatened to kill him.
She pulled her cloak tighter.
Sexily.
She threatened to... Oh, man, that was the least sexiest moment of Archer's life. Of his life. She pulled her cloak tighter around her, her fingers digging into the soft fur. She lifted her chin. Turns out Archer wasn't as dashing as I remembered. Funny how a year in Endoville can change the way you see people.
Girl, you threatened to kill him. You threatened to murder him.
Archer, his lips tugged upwards, but his face remained solemn. Did you get the information you wanted? Yes, and then some, she said. She explained that what Archer had told her. Parentheses. Pretending that he'd accidentally given her the information, of course.
Like an
in
idiot.
Parentheses. She explained the rumors surrounding the lost heir of Terrazin, but left out the bits about Aelin Galathinus seeking to establish her court and raise an army, and about Archer not really being in the movement. Oh, and about wanting to uncover the king's true plans. Oh, she left out the thing about Archer, Aelin, and Archer, and wanting to uncover the king's plans. Those are all things she left out.
Oh.
When she finished telling Kael about the upcoming ball, he walked up to the mantelpiece and braced his hands against it, staring at the tapestry hanging on the wall above. Though it was faded and worn, she instantly recognized the ancient city nestled in the side of the mountain above a silver lake. Alinelle. Kael's home. When are you going to tell the king? He asked, turning his head to look at her. Not until I know if this is actually real, Imdash, or until I use Archer to get as much information as I can before I kill him. He nodded, pushing off the mantle. Just be careful. You keep saying that.
Yeah, it's a warning sign.
Is there something wrong with saying it? Yes, there is. I am not a silly fool who can't protect herself or use her head. Did I ever imply that? No.
Yes.
But you keep saying, be careful, and telling me how you worry, and insisting you help me with things, and, dash, because I do worry. Well, you shouldn't. I'm just as capable of looking after myself as you are. He took a step towards her, but she held her ground. Believe me, Selena, he snarled, his eyes flashing.
Not winning any points with the snarling.
I know you can look after yourself, but I worry because I care. God's help me. I know I shouldn't, but I do. So I will always tell you to be careful. Because I will always care what happens.
I just have to say, a guy getting terrified when someone threatens him, way more appealing than a guy who becomes angry and irate when questioned and when suggested that he doesn't need to be doing what he's doing.
Literally. She blinked. Oh, was all she could manage. He pinched the bridge of his nose.
She understands him so much better. It's all explained. He's such a great person again.
He pinched the edge of his nose and squeezed his eyes shut, then took a long, deep breath. Selena gave him a sheepish smile. There's chapter 11.
That was chapter 11. Okay, my thoughts on chapter 11.
Let me hear them.
Disappointed but not surprised.
As always.
The things that went down with Archer, although they weren't what I would have really liked if it was something that was made specifically tailored to me, it was fine. It was all right. That's good.
I still like Archer.
Still like Archer. Once again, Kale is showing unneeded anger and jealousy. Once again, putting me off. Not once again putting me off because I never came back on. Continuing to put me off and to be like, yeah, this isn't, someone you should be interested in, which I feel like, isn't it that way with both of the love interests in Twilight as well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a huge warning signs the whole time, but it's all displayed as being fine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And with a lot of Bella just being it's fine, he wouldn't hurt me or whatever, Bella saying at least to Edward oh, I know you would never hurt me in the vampire sense, yeah. I don't know what it's like. I don't know how we get these kinds of men multiple times for the love interests, and people are always oh, I'm so crazy over them or whatever. I know at least for me when I was in the Twilight, I think I did like Edward more than Jacob, but mainly I know I was team, I'd be oh, I'm team Edward, just because within the narrative, Bella has consistently always chosen Edward over Jacob. And whatever. So I guess I would, if she chose Kale over, I don't like this series enough that if it came down to an issue a Team Dorian or Team Kale, I don't like this series enough to say I'm on either team, but I'm not sure where I'm going with that. But you're right, I'm seeing the similarities between at least Kale, and I guess we've seen a little bit of it with Dorian and Edward and Jacob. Archer, on the other hand, I like that he's not a love interest, and as it turns out, it's okay that he cowers in the face of death. How many people would cower in the face of death, Especially if, someone you think is your friend, you haven't seen in years, who
is an assassin who
when
kills
they
people. Say,
I'm going to kill you, or whatever, I intended to kill you, or something
I was sent to kill you.
I was sent to kill you. No, that she could actually... She has... What am I saying? It wouldn't just be a bluff from her, you know?
I do wonder... He is described as being very masculine.
Yeah.
Right. Very, very masculine. It's really called out strongly.
Yeah.
And then it's oh, he's so scared, and Selena doesn't like that. I'm wondering if that's is Maas going to do anything progressive with that idea of hey, masculine guys can be scared? I'm thinking not just so far from Selena's reaction, but perhaps we could see more development and be hey, actually, it's okay to not be a big tough guy, even if you look like one.
Yeah.
That'd be great to have that in a story. I don't think it's going to be this story just based off of the two main guys.
Yeah.
And how they are written and how Selena's internal monologue is written. I don't think it's going to be like that. Yeah. I'd like it if it was. If Maas does that, I will give it to her. I will hand it to her and say, good job.
Yeah.
My hopes aren't high.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess it would be nice if Selena can still somehow bring herself to respect him. Respect to, say you know what, he's not a pathetic person because he was afraid of being killed. But, and I have to acknowledge that she is trying to scale him when she's talking to him in the carriage, and she's not in the business of telling Kale the whole truth. So I think from her actions, I have to take into account that she's playing a game, basically, with everyone. But also her internal monologue doesn't give me a lot of hope with
her internal monologue.
Her actual feelings. So.
Yeah, internal monologue straight up said, oh, Kale was right to dislike him because he's a coward.
I wasn't sure if that's what it said, but it was that Kale saw through that he actually wasn't stronger.
Yeah.
Kale had known right away what sort of man Archer was. Kale had seen through the illusion of strength and she hadn't. And I'm assuming that the shame heated her cheeks, but she made herself speak again. I'm assuming the shame could either be that she didn't see it when Kale did, or... Yeah.
I feel like that's what it relates most closely to.
Okay. Not the shame of whole... Well, hold on. I see these are two different things.
Okay.
I see it as either the shame that Kale saw something that she didn't, or the shame that she honestly thought he was, like, a strong man, and he wasn't.
Oh,
to me, those are different, because it's either comparing herself to Kale, or, I guess, comparing herself to her own expectations of Flennon.
Yeah, but either way, it's...
Archer, or whatever his name is.
It's saying that, like, you know... She should have seen that he isn't a good person, or whatever. A strong
person, yeah.
Which is generally considered good in this, I would say.
Especially when you're such a big masculine man.
Yeah. Anyways, I feel like that was a nice amount of summing up our feelings from this chapter.
Yeah.
Definitely don't have the urge to continue on to the next one.
Ah, dang it.
Dang it. Yeah.
Man, is this the only chapter that we've been like, I'm really looking... Sorry, is chapter 10 the only one that made us go, I'm looking forward to chapter 11?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
I mean, granted, we're normally doing this at like
9
p.m.
p.m.
It's like, okay, time for bed.
Yeah.
But, yeah. All right, that's pretty great.
Yay.
Thanks for everyone who's joining to read along with us.
The strange 6 extra views on episode 7. Where did that come from?
All right, goodbye.